Hello everyone, welcome once again to Investing with the Difference. So today we are going to talk about price. We have very exciting stuff going on in the market. Before we start, let me just remind you that I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not qualified to advise you on any investments. So take this as an observation and as a fellow investors, and do not consider my advice as a recommendation to buy. So let's see what's going on. So we have this coin market cap performance, and as this has been the case for this rally, that EOS and Litecoin have been leading and maintaining the position 4 and 5, which is very interesting. But this particular rally, which started a couple of days back, in Binance Coin, this is very interesting because it jumped in last 24 hours after some research reports from Multicoin Capital, which was one of the leading analysts for EOS, and they believe in EOS. They have in fact even started a block producer. But Multicoin Capital came out with a Binance Coin uh, investment thesis of why it is a great investment, and this is like moved 20%, and Binance has now left Stellar and Tron behind. But today we are focusing on EOS. Why I'm excited about this outperformance? It's a huge outperformance if you look at from Ethereum and Bitcoin. And let's go into the chart. So this is the EOS versus Bitcoin chart. As you remember, we did a pretty very big rally we had, right from $1.50 or so to all the way above $4 in BTC terms. It was almost 107k Satoshi, and this was one of the best performance in recent times. And people were getting worried when it fell really hard from $4.30 or so to 3.5 or $3.20. But I always look at it from a Bitcoin relative performance, and as I reminded you previously, we are still in a very steep uptrend on EOS versus the rest of the market. What is exciting about today's move is that we are again above this breakout area. Now, what is important in these breakout levels? First of all, we never came down. So this was a downward facing trend line. This is the red line I'm showing you. And we never, in this correction from this steep move, we never tested this. So this is a great sign that we are not even uh, testing this trend line, and we are strongly in this up move. Secondly, after breaking out from previous highs, which was established in end of August, we are now not only going back above. So definitely we had a correction. But if we are going back above and not getting stopped at this previous highs, that means there is a good chance and a higher probability that this will breakout will sustain. Of course, we need to see how this today's rally lasts, whether we can really sustain these levels, and also it will depend on the rest of the market. So now let's go back what's really happening. So another tool which you should look at is where is the volume coming from. So usually coin market cap has this link which you say markets, and let's look at that. That will give you some idea. So there's a huge volume, 24-hour volume in a single exchanges, that is 231 million. And if you see, very interesting statistics here are that most of these are coming from Tether on Chinese exchanges. That means people who are trading from their tethered USD, and they're buying into EOS. Most of these like top exchanges are Chinese, so the volumes are coming from China, it looks like. And you remember, and when we had hit the highs in February, March, there was a huge volume used to come from Korea, and we used to see that kind of moves in the evening US time. So this is very similar thing which is happening here with China right now. So Chinese, as you know, really believe in EOS, and there is a huge momentum from the kind of reports we see from China in terms of enthusiasm around EOS. So this is great. I think we are seeing some amazing outperformance of EOS. And let's look at the Ethereum chart now. This is even more interesting because now what we are looking at is almost touching all-time highs. You need to see Ethereum versus Ethereum. If you exited Ethereum uh, early on when all of us got excited about EOS, even during the ICO phase last year, we are way above the levels. Like we did touch some lows, but EOS has been outperforming and in continuous uptrend against Ethereum. Now this is a very important chart for certain reasons, because while we are in the bear market, everything goes down. But EOS and Ethereum are the real competitors, because these are the only two platforms where we have a huge communities developing projects like actual applications for future. Currencies can come and go. The cryptocurrency is just one use case. When we talk about blockchain, when we talk about platforms, Ethereum has only one competitor today, that is EOS in the top five. Everything else is a currency. And now you're talking about continuous outperformance ever since I think 2017 when the ICO started, and it has never dipped below these lows, and it's in an uptrend. This tells you a story right from the day, even before EOS was launched, that was in June last year. So, and ever since the launch, even though we have seen ups and downs, if you see this chart, a long term chart, nobody can tell you that we are in a bear market if we are looking at EOS performance against Ethereum. So, this is something which I wanted to highlight. And I think this shows you the adoption of Ethereum by investors, by people who are looking for future generation platforms, and that's what is driving today's performance. And overall, I think whether we are out of the bear market or not, that will depend on Bitcoin performance, rest of the market, because still it's a speculator market. I don't think the valuations of billions of dollars which we see here are justified by real progress. We are still in a stage where these are potential technologies, which are not yet ready for big time real use cases. But I think in a speculator market, people who are learning more and more about EOS, whenever there is an opportunity, whenever there is a market kind of frenzy to buy new coins, you see more and more outperformance in EOS, and that is kind of a validation from wider market. Even though we don't see any great positive news, we have a lot of FUD around any minor news is played back in media as a huge FUD for EOS, that it's not, either they say it's not centralized, or they say that there's some hacks happened. We did cover the story on hacks, how media manipulates any incidents in EOS. Of course, it's a new technology. Of course, it's a learning curve for a lot of people in the community. We should, I'm not trying to be defensive here, because we have to accept the problems EOS is facing. But what I can tell you is that the market really defines the sentiment, not the news, because news can be biased, but the price action is real, because that's where the money talks. That's where people who are actually putting their money where their mouth is, and those people are telling us that they are investing in EOS versus Ethereum. So that's what we wanted to discuss in this particular video. We will be back with more news. But again, let me remind you, it's not an investment advice. It's just a few observations from a fellow investor in the community, and do look forward to your feedback. Thank you. Bye bye.